Alrighty then. All right, we should be live. We should be live. Just do me a favor, chat. Throw a 1 up if you can hear me loud and clear. If video and audio looks good. Hopefully there's no lag right now. I see chat is live. All right, we're good. I see Harry. Barry, what's going on, Barry Electronics? Tommy B, good evening, my friend. How you doing tonight? You are most welcome. Mike, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Harry Parrott. Barry says hello, Mass and crew. We're going to talk tonight about Ripple, XRP, WEF, FBI, CIA, NSA. No, just the first two. Lucy, good evening, dear. How you doing tonight? Lucy in the house. Make sure I get my... Man, I worked on this Ireland video today. I just couldn't get the words out. Make sure I get the mods. So I can give them a shout out at the end. Stinking Rocket, what's going on? Good evening. Stinking Rocket's throwing up a buck. Ellie, how you doing tonight? This is Ellie's favorite subject. Klauss Schwab. Ellie's all about Klauss. Ellie, do you tell me what are your honest feelings about Papa Klauss? So you guys got me going last night. I got into this whole thing about WEF and XRP. So I spent a lot of time on that last night and then today. And when I got frustrated with the Ireland video, I just kind of devoted the rest of the day to this. And I have some thoughts on it, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. And for those of you who know what the WEF is, bear with us tonight because we're going to go through kind of their whole setup, what their game plan is, and why XRP could be a game changer. Even if you don't agree with what the WEF stands for, which is very possible, right? Because I'm in that camp. Sometimes you have to swim with your enemies to avoid the sharks, right? And that's the way I'm going to look at it tonight. So we're going to take it from that perspective. So I'm not endorsing anything that WEF stands for. I'm not endorsing Klauss Schwab or the young leaders of the World Economic Forum. None of that. This is strictly going to be business based on what their plan is for this new world order and this one world government and how they would be able to control the currencies. Because let's face it, folks, the petrodollar is on its way out. I don't think BRICS can last forever, although it's probably backed by more. If it's a gold-backed currency, it's probably maybe a little more stable. But we are about to be $34 trillion in debt. We're facing a recession, even if technically we probably already are in one right now. And our GDP is shit. So if we're talking about currency exchanges and payment transfers. And I think no matter what you feel about the WEF, this is coming either one way or the other. There is going to be a change from cash and the way we do business right now, like, the SWIFT and everything like that. There's going to be a change coming. You can already see it right now. Some banks don't want to take cash. They won't deal in cash. So tonight's discussion is going to be based off how much do you believe that this system is coming into place? Look around what's happening in the world right now with the unleashing of illegal immigration to Western countries who have been economically and technology-wise have been at the top of the heap for decades now, since the end of World War II, right? Our military has basically ruled the world. But not everybody sees that as a good thing. I wouldn't even say myself as an American sees that as a good thing. I'd rather see them spending a lot more money here at home. Old Moser, what's going on, man? Kryptonian, good evening. How you doing tonight? Ellie says, I love XRP. Harry Parrott says the WF is the Fourth Reich. Barry Electronics, you missed last night. Well, you're here tonight, my friend. That's all that matters. Ellie says XRP MasterCard will be a game changer. Tommy says 34 trillion. Wow, never thought that would be possible. Yeah, I know. And no end in sight. No end in sight. So eventually things are going to come to a head. And eventually people are going to lose faith in the American dollar. And once it's no longer necessary to trade everything in dollars because we can't enforce our will on other countries, then XRP could be a game changer. James, what's going on, man? Good to see you tonight. Tom says, how can I buy XRP? I live in Texas. So I know, Tommy, the only thing I know is that New York right now is not eligible to trade. But I think that's crypto across the board, if I'm not mistaken. Stinking Rock says, serious question, what use is XRP? I honestly don't know. So, Stinking Rocket, that's basically just a replacement. Right now, most major trades are done between any two nations is based off the US dollar. That's the petrodollar, and we've been on that standard for a while now, right? You can go almost anywhere in the world and trade in American dollars to a local currency. But there's a very good chance that as we go deeper into debt and really can't get ourselves out of it, the more people will lose faith in the American dollar, which means they lose faith in the petrodollar. And you're already seeing it now. Countries have broken away, like BRICS, right? Which are now using their own gold-backed currency. And the one thing about BRICS as a currency, you got 5 different nations who are contending to be on top, right? So you got China, India, what is it, South Africa? Where's the B? Brazil? There's a bunch of countries, right? But no one country really wants to, or no one country wants to see the other one be the exclusive or the powerhouse of that system. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out because, China doesn't want India to be able to have more influence in the sphere of geopolitics and economics, which is why the petrodollar has worked for so long, because it was us who were in control of it always, and no other nation had a say in it. I remember when the Wolf of Wall Street there, what's his name? Jordan Belfort went on with Trey way back in the day before when Trey first came on and started doing his live streams every day. You guys remember that? If you've been with me this long, you probably do. He had Wolf of Wall Street on his channel for an interview, and Belfort said, "Well, what is the reason that all these countries accept the dollar?" And there's one simple reason for that, and that is because if you don't take it, we will blow you away. Right? It's respect of the armed forces of this country, and what we can produce, right? The natural resources we have on hand. But that has gradually been declining over the last 2 decades and accelerated over the past 2 or 3 years, big time. And with everyone doing this ESG, save the planet, green energy, they all have this agenda. They're looking for ways to be able to move money quickly, make sure it's secure, and be able to track it. And that's where our central bank digital currency comes in. All right, so let's talk about what Ripple is first. Let's start with that. Let me just go through and make sure I shout everyone out before we jump to another screen. And Tommy, I'm going to have to look up and see about Texas, why you can't get it there. That's a good question. Mike says, when I went to purchase a used Jeep, the dealer would not take cash, and that was 2 years ago. Yeah, so we're like past that point, right? So Stinking Robot, we'll talk about what XRP is and how it's being used. Michael, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming by 2 nights in a row. Appreciate you guys very much. Harry Parrott says, none of the BRICS currencies economies are stable. See, that's the problem, right, Harry Parrott? Even though it's backed by gold right now, BRICS, all of it's backed by gold, none of their economies are stable. They all have their own issues in-house. Not saying that we don't. The question is, can they, as a combined force, implement their will on, let's just say, NATO? Let's say, the Western European countries. We could throw Australia in there, Great Britain, United States. How far could they push it? But that is a great point. None of their economies are actually stable right now. I mean, look at China, man. They're in big trouble. They are really in big trouble. They have so much. They built so fast, so much, where now they are destroying entire cities that they built that no one ever moved into. Right? You've heard Boss talk about this with Evergrande and Countrywide and some of the other banks, some of the other mortgage companies out there from China that are struggling right now. They can't even pay the interest on their loans. And these were companies that had huge evaluations not just 2 years ago. Huge evaluations. And they're in a lot of trouble right now. So that is another thing that we have to take into consideration when we talk about these other currencies and the possibilities they could be used in the future. Even though with the Ukraine war, we put huge sanctions on Russia, the ruble is doing better than almost ever before in its history. By the way, who's seen in the last couple of weeks that they're talking about ending the war in Ukraine? And we talked about this on live streams here a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. We talked about, and I said, and a lot of you guys agreed. Some of you guys didn't, but a lot of you guys agreed and said this was a pointless war. There is no way on God's green earth Ukraine can win, and it's going to be a disaster. And sure enough, they are talking about coming to the table to make a peace agreement because they are running out of troops. And we called this over a year ago here. We called this, we talked about the Azov Battalion and the Minsk Accords and how, we had said and made this promise to Russia that we would not extend Ukraine any further. I mean, NATO any further. We would never be right up on their border again. And Russia pushed back. And, I took some flack on here for saying that, if I was Russia, I would do the same thing. Especially when you had the Donbass region that was voting 70% ethnic Russian. That's the language they speak. It looks like Ukraine's gonna have to lose all of that. But just in time for BlackRock to swoop in and pick up all the contracts to rebuild the entire infrastructure of a country that Russia didn't. I mean, look at what Israel is doing to Gaza right now. Russia has done 1/10 of the damage to Ukraine in 2 years that Israel has done to Gaza in 2 months. But we talked about it here on the channel over a year ago, saying this was a pointless war and that, we played the Truman speech on here where he talked about beware of the military-industrial complex, getting us into endless wars. Julian Assange talked about it. That's why they want to they're trying to kill Julian Assange as we speak because he exposed a lot of war crimes. And like he said, it's not about a war to end all wars. It is the endless war that they're looking for. And when Trump pulled us out of Afghanistan and ended that conflict and made the decision to have us home or all our troops home in a certain amount of time, it wasn't but less than a year after Biden came into office, and here we are, another war again. Now we're in 2, right? Because we're in the Middle East. You got the Yemeni, the Houthis in Yemen who are firing on some of the naval ships down in the Red Sea right now in the Mediterranean. It's amazing. Trump was the only president in the last, I think it was 7 or 8 administrations that didn't start a new war. Which is crazy if you think about it. Because that's what we were warned about. Caleb, how you doing tonight? Good to see you, my man. Floyd, what's going on, brother? Good to see you in the chat. Like Mike says, Orange Man, no wars. Tommy says, Mass, can you give a quick rundown of the channel? So when you click on the channel, Tommy, you should see, and I think I need 12 or 13 more memberships. I think that is the cutoff that we need to be able to go past December 1st. So I need like a dozen or so more members. It's in, so 2 ways. You can, when you first click on a video, it should say join, become a member. And if not, if you go to the homepage, my homepage, Just Concerned Citizen Massalorian, you'll be able to do it there. It will say join as a member. And I think there's 3 different tiers that you can join as. There's one, I think it's $3.99. And I made that just so that, if you can afford it, I'm not going to say no to take an extra, but every penny counts. But if you can only do the limited, the smallest one at $3.99 a month, that's fine, man. I mean, everyone will get the same benefits. And I know it's not the most fair thing, but I would rather have more people be able to come to the live streams, and charge less for it. And like I said, I talked to Tommy earlier in the night, privately through text messages. And I just told him, this isn't a road I want to go down, but they're making it impossible. If I pull up my YouTube right now and show you guys Friday night's live stream, we talked about this whole situation going on with Rumble and the demonetization of all the videos. No monetization on that video. The last 2 live streams we did just about AMC, both got monetized, right? But yeah, it's not something I was really hoping to do, but But when I saw that the last month we couldn't even make the $100 threshold to get paid, then it became it's desperate, it's desperate times call for desperate measures. And I could have started memberships back in 2 years, over 2.5 years ago, but I didn't want to put any burden on anyone that I didn't need. The only reason I'm doing it now is because I've run out of options, and this is how a lot of the smaller guys have grown their channels huge. I mean, Tim Pool, his whole thing is built off his memberships. That's how he's able to fund all these projects and have all these people fly in to do interviews and stuff. It's all based off that. He doesn't make any money from YouTube. We both did a video last week about the George Floyd movie, The Fall of Minneapolis, and he got 250,000 views. I got 250, and we both made zero money off it. But he might have 10,000 of those people who watched the video who are subscribers and members. So he doesn't have to worry about that. And that's my whole thing. I don't want to just come on here and talk about AMC every night. There is no point. That would bore you guys out of your mind, and I would put a bullet in my head before I did that. I want to be able to talk about these other things that I think are just as important, if not more. But they aren't. The establishment, whoever is running the algo at YouTube, whoever is deciding that they're not going to monetize my videos, whoever that person is or group of people are, they have control over the platform, and I get to be able to use that for free right now. But I can't pay for the software and the memberships to the all the different sites, and to get Canva and to all of it. And again, this is just a temporary thing because right now I just can't work here. So when I get back to the States and I can get back to working again, it won't be an issue. But right now it's desperate. Jason, what's going on, my friend? And to everyone who sent the super chat the other night on Friday, thank you. And to those of you guys who have signed up for memberships already, thank you. You're all going to be in the, if we can get enough memberships, everyone who has is a member will be in the intro. It'll be the last thing we put on the intro. Harry Parrott says, the U.S. Constitution clearly only Congress can change currencies, not the Fed with the CBDC. All right. Agree. That is true, right? That is true. It has to be an act of Congress. This is true. All right. So let's get this out of the way. What is Ripple? For you guys who don't know, we're going to give a real basic understanding here from Forbes of what Ripple is. Just so you guys know, we're all on the same page. So Ripple is the company behind XRP. It's basically the ticker, and it's a payment settlement system, an exchange network that processes transactions globally. Ripple was designed from the very beginning to essentially be a replacement for SWIFT. We talked about that earlier. A leading money transfer network, or to otherwise replace the settlement layer between major financial institutions. It serves as a trusted agent between two parties in a transaction, as the network can quickly confirm that exchange went through properly. Ripple can facilitate exchanges for a variety of fiat currencies and crypto, such as Bitcoin, to name one example. So it's got multiple different functions, right? It can do a lot of different things, take in different types of currencies, convert them, and quickly be able to transfer those funds at a relatively low carbon cost. And that is what these psychos who are in the WEF are looking to do. They are pushing this agenda, this green energy, save as much carbon as you can. This is their game plan. This is how, and this leads to, like, under this is headed. This is leading to a very few number of people being able to control global economies. The standard fee to conduct transactions on Ripple is set at 0.000001 XRP, which is minimal compared to large fees charged by banks. So you're saving money on all the transactions. And just so you know technically what it is, it's a cryptocurrency. That's what it is. It's on a ledger. It's blockchained. You can buy it as an investment, as a crypto to exchange for other cryptocurrencies, or as a way to finance transactions on the Ripple network. It says XRP's blockchain operates a little differently than most other cryptos. Others open their transaction ledgers and verify process to anyone who can solve complex equations quickly, meaning that it's very diverse, right? But transactions are secure as the majority of ledger holders must agree with the verification for them to be added. So you have a consensus, pretty much. Bitcoin transaction confirmations may take many minutes or hours and are typically associated with high transaction costs. XRP, on the other hand, are confirmed in about 4 to 5 seconds and at a much lower cost. So you are getting 10 times the speed for a quarter of the carbon emissions. All right, so that's a basic definition. Now, when I made the thumbnail tonight, I put Klauss Schwab in it for a reason. Because he is the leader of the WEF. And just so we know who Klauss Schwab is, let's go back to... Actually, this is probably a year ago. Most of you guys who've been to the channel for a while probably remember this. But this was an eye-opening moment for a lot of people who didn't even realize it. And there are still people today who have no idea who Klauss Schwab or the World Economic Forum are. But luckily, if you've been subscribed to this channel many times here, my subscribers are wicked smart. All right, so I'm going to play this real quick so we can understand who we're talking about.
When I mention now names like Mrs. Merkel, even Vladimir Putin and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. Mm-hmm. But what we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
Okay, so that's Klauss Schwab on the left there.
Argentina.
He's talking about that the World Economic Young Leaders, who these guys have basically, they've picked out certain types, individuals who are destined for leadership. And they bring them in and get them into, they have a whole ideology and a mindset for the future of mankind. And Trudeau is one of them. We're going to go through the list. I'm going to show you guys, and this will all come back to you and how it's going to be used and how important it is if you believe this is the way we are headed. It's really the important thing, right? Do you believe deep down inside we are heading towards a one world government? Do you believe that everything we've seen in the last, 3 years, maybe longer, the mass immigration into all of these countries, of the countries they're coming from, the open borders policy, all of this, do you believe in and greater forces at work that are behind this initiative? It's a real test that you need to put this up against. Because if you believe that, then you believe in Ripple. All right, so how are the two, why Ripple and the WEF? Let's do that. Let's do that. All right, so this is from the Daily Hodl. I found this late last night. World Economic Forum names XRP as crypto asset most relevant in central bank digital currency space. This is from just a month ago. Yeah, literally 31 days ago. Says the WEF is looking at Ripple's native currency, XRP, as the most relevant cryptocurrency in the emergency central bank digital currency space. In a report published this year, the WEF says that central banks and government agencies are looking at the potential of CBDCs to solve perennial global financial issues such as financial inclusion. This is crazy. Financial inclusion and stability of payment systems. The Geneva-based international organization also made a clear distinction between CBDCs and cryptocurrencies. Understand, guys, those are two totally separate things. CBD. Kidding me. CBDCs are a digitized version of sovereign currency created and issued by and a liability of the country's monetary authority. So CBDC would be linked to, in our country, our treasury, right? But you could find them in many different countries. Some have already been implemented right now. CBDCs differ from other forms of digital or virtual currencies, including crypto, such as Bitcoin and stablecoins, which are not issued by central banks or typically considered legal tender. Although the WEF is drawing a clear line between the two forms of digital assets, it names XRP as the most relevant crypto in the whole CBDC space for intra or interbank payments and settlements. In a recent blog post, Ripple notes that central banks around the world are locked in an arms race to develop their own CBDCs. The payment startup also explains how central banks can leverage XRP to facilitate and support the use of central bank digital currencies. So this is two different things. XRP is not a central bank digital currency, just as central bank digital currency is not Ripple. This is basically a blockchain crypto that's being endorsed by this World Economic Forum, these globalist elites who have massive amounts of hubris and believe that they know the way that the world should be headed and have been planning their takeover as into a one world government for a while. This has been decades now, since the 70s and the Club of Rome. All right. Now we got that out of the way. Let's take a look at this is from World Economic Forum's website. This is why they believe in this so much. They're going to explain why. So this is from October 6th. This is just over a month ago as well. What are CBDCs and what could they mean for the average person? So CBDCs are already in use today. A total of 11 countries have launched one, and another 21 have pilot programs, according to the ACDC tracker. There are further 79 countries right now developing or researching a digital currency, including our own. And they have a projection chart here of how many have launched, have pilots in place. Well over 90% of the money in circulation today is already digital, which you guys know. According to the Harvard Business Review, with rapid declines in the use of cash having accelerated because of the pandemic. Now, most of you guys know what CBDCs are, right? Cutting costs and times, transactions. All right, let's go down to, here it is. Increasing financial inclusion. So this is where we get down to the brass tacks of what the WEF's plan is. They want to basically take everything, turn it digital, using Ripple, and now they've signed another, I guess, deal, if you want to say, with Stellar, and they're promoting Stellar as another form of payment. Increasing financial inclusion was one reason Nigeria introduced its CBDC, the e-Naira, in 2021. Around a third of the people in Nigeria do not have bank accounts. So think about that. They're just strictly using wallets to hold their crypto right now. Oh, they're CBDCs. The benefits of financial inclusion, including helping eliminate. This is the same thing that we were just talking about the other day with the FCC's new ruling of the government being able to control the internet, right? It's a Trojan horse. The benefits are help in eliminate poverty, create jobs, improve gender equality, and raise health standards. But it's crazy when you think about what they're really talking about here. There have been large drops in poverty in rural India thanks to moves to bring in people to the banking system and better financial access for farmers in Malawi, helping them invest in equipment, which in turn is boosting their yields and the potential crop earnings by over a fifth. Number of people with a phone who outnumber those with a bank account. Look at that. China, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Indonesia. These are all South Pacific countries. Vietnam, Nigeria. CBDCs could transform financial inclusion as they can be used directly via a mobile phone, potentially benefiting more than 600 million people around the world who have access to a mobile but not a bank account. So here's the objection. Privacy is one of the most commonly cited concerns when it comes to CBDCs, meaning that they'll have the ability to look at what you're buying, when and where. As the World Economic Forum's Digital Currency Governance Consortium white paper series points out, it's a legitimate concern given the rise of data protection and online privacy issues in our increasingly digital world. However, just as governments around the world have brought new legislation to tackle these concerns, they will have to introduce rules around CBDCs, such as enforcing the use of privacy enhancing technology and ensuring consumer protection, the forum points out. And they go on to talk about building trust. But that is their agenda. They are looking for more inclusivity and they want to have everyone on the same level. They want digital equity, just like we talked about with the FCC the other night. All right. Let me get back to the chat real quick, and then we'll jump on. I'm going to show you guys who the young leaders are. And when you see how many financial institutions these people, these young leaders are linked into at this point in time, as of like right now, it's going to blow you away. Every country on the planet, in every banking and financial institution you can think of, has some of these members on their boards, mostly in the C-suite. And we'll go over that. Get to the chat real quick so I can. Caleb Underhill says you can have a Canva account, bro. Yeah, you can't, but there's only certain things you can put on there, Caleb, without getting a watermark. You got to pay for any type of like videos that I use to make like a video is all on a paid account. There's only so many things you can free. None of the 4K or HD stuff is free, unfortunately. Learn that the hard way. Lucy, it's monthly, hon. Monthly. Harry Parrott says carbon friendly, right? ESG scores. Ellie says, yes, I believe that's where we are headed, at least by owning XR. Yeah, Ellie, so this is the thing. Like I was doing this research last night and again this morning. It's like, I don't agree with the way this is headed, but if it takes swimming with your enemies to protect you from the sharks, then I understand why this might be a sound investment looking forward, right? 100%. Ellie says, at least by owning XRP, we have a chance to survive those times. It's their coin, and they won't do anything to destroy it. If anything, it will go way up. And that's the other thing, Ellie, right? Because I started thinking about this. How much are they going to own the coin? How much actually are they going to have influence over the coin and the price action of the coin? Like all the people who are tied in with the World Economic Forum. Harry says owning XRP is like paying the devil. Exactly. Just like owning Moderna stock to, yep. It's a conscious decision that you have to make. I say no. Hell no. And I get that, man. Like I said, I don't agree with anything that these guys are doing. And I think they are absolutely nuts. But I understand if people are investing, I understand why. Just like I don't agree what they're doing at Davos with and Bilderberg. But the reason that I got convinced into buying Palantir in the first place was because they are linked in with these clowns. And it was a smart decision for me. But this is on a whole different level. Buying a stock like Palantir and buying a cryptocurrency like XRP that could be a new digital token that's used by a one world government. I mean, you're talking about two totally different spheres, right? Completely different. Completely different. Lucy says Trump is going to shut it down. So it's President Malay and other conservative leaders in other countries where people are fed up with the ESG. Yeah, Lucy. So the guy who was just president that Malay just took out of office was a young global leader for WEF, right? It's crazy. We talked about last night that, Disney's going down this road and, talking about DEI and ESG, openly admitting that, hey, listen, we know this might not be the most profitable course going there. We're going to tell our investors that, hey, this might be the best investment for you. You could actually lose money if you buy in now, but we're sticking with our guns. Openly admitting that. A company that was $220 a share not a year ago or 2 years ago, now down, over 100%, right? Barry says, I don't feel that my money is safe unless I have cash in hand. Yeah, man, it's a tough call. It's not an easy decision to make. Like, I was thinking about it earlier. I have a little bit of crypto that I could transfer or, sell and then buy XRP with. I have like a little bit of Ethereum, a little bit of Bitcoin. It's the moral dilemma I'm coming to. Like, do I want to support this kind of governance? Do I want to support these lunatics who think that they know what's best for the planet and for mankind? Because so far, everything I've seen from them is absolute shit. Going back to the pandemic, and they're going along with Pfizer and Moderna and bringing those guys on to their all their hyped up fundraisers and everything, going to Davos and doing when they have their, summer meetings. So far, everything has been a scam. I haven't seen anything that legit makes me think these guys are, really trying to help the planet. I don't believe that. I think they're all nuts. And, it really becomes a moral compass decision. Do I want to support something that I believe is evil? Even at, my own gain, right? Tommy says, just added a Rumble account and added you. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate you, man. Harry Parrott says, just remember, not all WEF young leaders are even on the list. Klauss just put you on there. All right, so let's look at that list real quick, and I'll get back to the chat of who they are. Just some of them. Let's show you where this is how far the WEF influence actually goes. It's massive. It is massive. Let's see. Boom. Here we go. All right. And, you're going to recognize all the names of where these people. I almost just X'd out of the whole live stream. Holy shit. Thank God. Wow, that was close. I almost closed down my whole browser. All right, hold on. All right. Let's go through who these people are. And we won't go through all of them, but these are a lot of the alumni here. All right. Chief Executive Officer of Artha Global in UK. Co-founder and executive officer, Access Innovation Media in Australia. Co-founder and chairman of Open ESG in Switzerland. Chief executive officer of Olayan Financing Company, Saudi Arabia. Senior Vice President of Strategy and Market Analysis at Aramco, Saudi Arabia. Distinguished Professor of Energy and Environment, University of Delaware. Advisor for Political and Economic Affairs, the Crown of Bahrain. Chief Executive Officer of Saudi Media Company, Saudi Arabia. Chairman and Managing Partner of Middle East McKinsey and Company, United Arab Emirates. I mean, we're talking like these are the big dogs in globalization. Come on now. Head of Environmental, Social, and Governance Enablement, T. Rowe Price, United Kingdom. United Nations Climate Change High-Level Champion, United Arab Emirates. Managing Director of Global Head Investment Performance for Alternatives, BlackRock USA. It's amazing. It's amazing. All these people have been trained and brought up in the WEF ideology. Member of the Board of Mergers and Acquisitions and Expansion, Grupo Sala, Guatemala. Let's see. Vice President of Climate Impact Science, IBM Research, South Africa. Managing Director of Sociedad Gestora de Fondos de Inversión, Salcante Capital Partners, Peru. So it's banking, it's business, and it's media. They're in all three sectors. Chair of Special Permanent Committee of Environmental Protection, Hellenic Parliament, Greece. Editor of Multimedia News and Current Affairs, BBC World Service, United Kingdom. Chief Sustainability Officer of Qualcomm USA. CEO of Renewable Energy Buyers Alliance USA. It goes on and on and on. There are hundreds of people who right now are alumni of this World Economic Forum. Ambassador of Saudi Arabia, the United States. Maria Bartiromo. Ever seen her before on Fox News? Anchor editor of Global Markets, Fox Business. It's crazy, man. They are all over the place. Chief Investment Officer of L Investments USA, software engineer, Microsoft Ghana. Chairman and Executive Officer of Ecolab USA. That's the cleaning company, Ecolab. They make chemicals. They have their paws, their mitts everywhere. Minister of Citizen Services, Employment and Social Development, Canada. It's absolutely wild. Director of McKinsey and Company, Germany, Adam Bird. Now, if we're talking about global world leaders right now, people who are in office, is a former WEF young leader. Merkel was. Putin has since, Putin was like Vivek Ramaswamy. He was one of the believers, but he has since basically told them to F off. Putin has. It is pretty wild how far their tentacles go. Yeah, Trudeau, Merkel, Tulsi Gabbard used to be a Young Economic Forum leader. It's crazy how much influence these guys yield over the globe. I mean, it's every country. It spans over every country. So again, Tommy B says, I still don't see the join button on your YouTube channel, brother. Hang on, let me see this. I don't know if I can see it from my end. Yeah. Go to the front page where it's Concerned Citizen, and it has the description of the channel and the email, the view channel stats, all that. If you go right to the front page, right under where my Twitter handle is, you should see it says join. There's one button. And then it will give you a list of options there for the members. And every tier has something different. Like we're gonna be able to do call-ins. So we'll do 3 live streams that we're gonna do a week. Talking about the news. We'll do 1 or 2 call-ins per night so that you guys can come on and actually talk live on the air on the live stream. That's the first thing I'm gonna set up as soon as hopefully we get enough people. But as soon as we get enough people, first thing I'm gonna set up is doing that. Ryan says, if CBDC is not backed by gold or silver, it will be no different than the situation we got into with fiat currency. Yeah, so Ryan, the BRIC CBDC is going to be, right? They're backing that with gold. Yeah, there's noise in the background, man. I can't help that. It's not my place, unfortunately. They have plans to hang out, and I said, well, I got to go live no matter what. So I told you guys last night I'd come on and talk about XRP WEF. So unfortunately, that's a situation I'm in right now, man. Things are not good. It sucks. But, it is what it is. It's better than not being on at all, I guess. But I hear you, Ryan. It's definitely a concern. It just matters, if these guys end up getting their wish and let's say Trump loses in 2024, we get 4 more years of Biden. It's just more influence they're going to be able to wield. Pete Buttigieg is a member of the World Economic Forum, Young Leaders. So our Secretary of Transportation is one of these guys. Yeah, it's unfortunate. But I understand the concern. Generation X with AMC GameStop says they need to protect their investments with XRP as they hold half the coin, so they still control the price. So I was looking into that, Generation X, trying to see if, hey, is it true that that these guys are already holding a ton of coins? It looks like that they are. They already have a heavy investment in it. Slick Rick says, thank you, Secretary Booty Juice. Ellie says, I think they will have to make up a higher set price that doesn't fluctuate so they can facilitate the cross-border transactions between countries. XRP is not just for CBDCs, it's the future of money. Yeah, that's what it seems like to me, Ellie. At least it's their idea of the future petrodollar, right? This will be the replacement for the petrodollar once we fail as being the world leader in trading commodities. Because that day is coming. They've already been trading in yuan and rubles over in India or Russia. And, United States has totally screwed our allies by telling everyone in NATO that, listen, Russia's going to be crippled by these economic sanctions and the ruble's stronger than ever, right? So Lucy says Coinbase is a good place to buy XRP and other cryptocurrencies. Plus, you can earn 5% interest on your USD that's in your bank account. Yeah, one thing I would suggest: do not buy anything on BlockFi. I just got my Ethereum back from BlockFi after like a year of them locking my account down because they were going through some issues. So I don't believe you can buy XRP on there. but definitely try to stay away. Just in my personal opinion, they got some bad business practices going on. Jeffrey, what's going on, man? How you doing tonight? Uncle Frank Finance says XRP is the best mousetrap for cross-border payments on the planet. It will not be the one world currency. Its highest use will be by banks and financial institutions. So, Uncle Frank, you don't think we'll be using it on a personal level? I definitely feel like they'll be using this. Institutions will definitely be using this. This will be the gold standard of transactions. Swift will be a thing of the past. That I have no doubt on, unless there is some kind of cultural revolution that the United States, and look, you are seeing the foundations of that be happening right now. You are seeing people rise up against these socialist globalist elites, and fighting back. It's happening right now as we speak in France, Ireland, Spain. They just elected uh, a nationalist or a populist candidate in the Netherlands, right? So there are definitely inklings that things are gonna possibly get flipped on their head. I just don't know. I just don't know. It's gonna take a strong group of people to hold up the integrity of a constitutional republic in this country and not let CBDCs or a Federal Reserve coin or anything like that replace the dollar. At least in between transactions for us, the little people. Good to see you, by the way, Uncle Frank. Ryan says it's real simple. If these governments don't have any of their currency backed by gold, silver, or other precious metals, it's a scam. Unless it's the only way to do business, Ryan, right? Like if you're forced into a corner and you need to transact, would you be willing to accept it? Is the question, right? And if all these guys are agreeing, because again, our monetary system right now, our financial system is on the brink of collapse. I mean, there's nothing backing the U.S. dollar right now. Certainly, we've lost the petrodollar for good. I don't think that's ever coming back, ever. We're past the point of no return with that. Harry says the WEF infiltrating governments and banking isn't a new thing. It's come from the Rothschild plan for world dominance. So, Harry, I didn't see anything today linking Rothschild to WEF. Did I miss something on that? I didn't necessarily look for it, but I didn't see. Oh, and the other thing was that the CEO of Ripple is a WEF guy. He is all in on this agenda that they have for 2030 and the Great Reset, right? We talked about him a little bit last night. Harry says Tulsi denounced her WEF Young Global Leadership nomination. I asked her that question on Dr. Drew, and she officially denounced it. Oh, you never told me that, Harry Parrott. Never told me that. Good to know, though. Good to know. Because I was a big fan of Tulsi until just recently. Because she said she was all about, these foreign wars coming to an end. But as soon as Hamas attacked Israel, and again, I don't have a dog in that fight. I think we should just let them do their thing, right? Hamas wanted a beef. They got it. IDF went into Gaza. They're going to fight. Let the best group of men win and stay the fuck out of it, right? It's none of our business. We're broke. We don't have money for anyone. Mike says Tomix X out of live chat, and it's right there next to the notification bell. Titan476K says, thanks for doing stream on XRP. Good stuff, brother. Appreciate you, Titan. Good to see you, bro. I just want people to understand this is a possibility that we are heading down this road. So if you believe in this possibly happening, feel free to invest your money. I'm not going to tell you one way or the other what to do, right? But it was one of the reasons why I got, I have it, my second biggest position besides AMC's and Palantir was because of their connection to these people. But again, the stock and the WEF having control over cryptocurrency, right? Palantir is a AI. It is a information gathering. It's a tech company, right? With a totally different ball game than finance and currency swaps and purchasing power. Totally different. Titan says, "Have you seen how many banks are adopting this coin, bro? I think it's going to be good in time." Yeah, my question is again, when you have a small group of people who are able, let's say that they are able to control the price on this, kind of like how algorithmic trading has controlled the meme stocks. By the way, we're going to talk about that in a minute if we get a chance. You know, if I don't have faith in the U.S. government, the people that I can actually get my hands on, why am I going to put any faith in someone that's 3,000 miles away from me in some Swiss chalet that I can't get my hands on? Uncle Frank says, no, Stellar and other coins will be peer-to-peer, just my opinion. So I saw that. Let's pull that up. I saw that. I did pull that article down. They made that announcement just recently, right? Where is it here? Let's see. All right, hang on. By the way, first, let me show you this. Because I found this last night too. And I'm like, maybe if I play this for the guys and the girls, they will kind of have a better understanding of what's actually going on behind the scenes. Okay. So I'm going to put this up on the screen. And this is kind of, if you believe in this whole Great Reset, these are where these guys are coming from. And this is a world leader's take on it that is not down with. Okay. Share the screen. There we go. Get that up. Okay. All right. So this is, excuse me, this is the former Prime Minister of Malaysia, Dr. Mahathir. He talks about the New World Government that will be ruled by wealthy and the reduction of the world. This is kind of where this con is, in my opinion, coming from.
Malaysia's former Prime Minister, Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, said that the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPPA, is a new world order strategy by a powerful pact people led by the US to dominate the world economy. Speaking at the international conference titled New World Order, Recipe for Peace or War, organized by the Perdana Global Peace Foundation, Dr. Mahathir said globalization and borderless trade are being used to establish a one-world government.
Basically, it is about having a world government. We should abolish all states, all nations, all borders, but instead have only one world government. And that world government is to be by certain people, elites, people who are very rich, very intelligent, very powerful in many ways. They are the ones who will govern the world. There was not much talk about democracy or choice of leaders. Instead, there was to be a government by these elites who will impose their rules on everyone in this world. And for those who are unwilling to submit to them, there will be punishment. And the peace that we will get from this is the peace of the graveyard. Because the intention also is to reduce the number of people in this world. At the time when the New World Order was enunciated, The population of this world was only 3 billion. The intention was to reduce it to 1 billion. Now the population of the world is 7 billion. There will be a need to kill many billions of people, or to starve them to death, or to prevent them from giving birth, in order to reduce the population of this world.
And then I'll leave from there. Okay, perfect. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm sure that guy has some interesting parties that he goes to, and sure he has drinks with interesting people who talk, in these inner circles of the elites. And I totally believe that's the direction we're headed right now. The whole thing with the constant pumping of Planned Parenthood in this country, and this trans genocide where they're cutting off kids' reproductive organs or transforming into something else. I think it's ultimately about population control, right? They're making it impossible for young people to have babies, to be able to afford to have kids. If you want to reduce the population, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Great. Thank you. All right, I do have grub. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so I don't see any other reason that this agenda would be being pushed on all these Western countries, unless that was the end goal. Let's see. Uncle Frank says no. Stellar and other coins will be peer-to-peer. Just my opinion. Lucy says the Federal Reserve is neither federal or has reserve. It's a scam, private corporation run by elite bankers. So, Lucy, I'm about to start that book tomorrow. I just finally got to the last chapter of Fourth Turning. Finally. On was it Monday or Sunday night? So the next book I'm reading is about the Federal Reserve. I forget what it's called, but I have a free thing on Audible that I'm going to download it. That's the next book I'm going to take down on Audible about the Federal Reserve. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, that is the case. It's all right, though. For having a place where I can set up tonight, so I can't be too picky. Oh boy. Uncle Frank says there's only 100 billion XRP. It cannot be mined. It's fixed. I believe eventually the price will rise and fall with the demand for cross-border flow. Yeah, so there is no mining of it, Uncle Frank, right? Yeah. No creation of new coins. So 100 billion is going to be it. There'll never be any more made. You can't burn anything like that, right? Lucy says, did you see an article on Pete Buttigieg killing 5 dogs? No, when he was a teenager. I can't imagine him even killing Shirley Temple right now. Pete Buttigieg. He's so feckless. Again, this is the problem, right? We got a bunch of leaders in our country who have no backbone and no balls. And that's why we find ourselves in the situation we're in, where we are being overrun by economic migrants right now, which is just crazy to me. They do not stop coming. I saw this last night. It is never ending with these guys. I'm going to put this up. This was from Fox Business Related today, actually.
Stuart, we have a new report from the U.S. House Committee on Homeland Security. They say the price tag per year is $450 billion. That is both for the housing and care of the asylum seekers as well as those known gotaways. Stuart, we have new numbers, a new report from the U.S. House Committee on Homeland Security majority. They say the price tag per year is $451 billion. That is both for the housing and care of the asylum seekers as well as those known gotaways.
That's an incredible amount of money. It's where do they come up with this money to fund this? We have had people living on the streets who are addicted to drugs and have nowhere to live for decades. And all of a sudden, we have $450 billion to house illegals. We got a big problem in this country. Big problem. Ken, what's going on, man? Says you got room service. That was nice of them. I'm starving. I'm not going to eat this in front of you guys, though. But it was nice. It was very nice of them. They're sweet girls. Yeah, so I think that's all I wanted to touch on. My plan is I'm going to do a little more digging into this tomorrow. Finish that video on Ireland, and then I might just convert some of that Ethereum that I have right now. And I think I still have some Cardano and some Bitcoin. And sell it and put it into XRP and just hold on to it and see what happens. It's not a lot of money. It's only a couple $100, but you know, again, it's the moral dilemma I'm having with backing something that these guys are pushing. I just don't see any good behind it. I think these people have enormous hubris. And like Soros and Gates and these other guys, they think they know better than everyone else. And because they are so well funded, they're allowed to come on to all these platforms and give their opinions, and people listen to them. And I don't know, it's a scary place right now. I'd honestly rather fight than give in to this monster, but I'm not going to purposely screw myself out of money. So, like I said, I promise tonight we come on and talk about XRP a little bit. Those are my thoughts on it so far. I'll go deeper into it maybe on tomorrow or Thursday. Like I said, we have till the 1st to get everything squared up with Restream and all that. So hopefully we'll have enough members by then, and we won't have to worry about what we talk about on here. We can just go full bore. And if anything is copyrighted, I mean, we can do so much more if I don't have to worry about YouTube paying me. We can switch the music up. There's just so many more things. It gives me so many more options of what I can play during the live streams. It's just a ton of options. So if you guys can help out with that, that would be awesome. It would mean a lot if you could at least for the next couple of months until I can get back to the States and start making my own money again. Like I said, I wouldn't be asking if it wasn't a necessity, but if I'm not getting anything from Google and they're not going to run ads on my shit, I just don't have any other choice. All right, guys, it's gonna be a little short tonight, but I'll be on for a long live stream tomorrow. We'll do a long one. Yeah, we'll do a long live stream tomorrow night. It might start a little later than tonight, but yeah, I don't want to be rude and have all that noise in the background for you guys. It's not cool. So let's cut it at an hour 15 right now. I will eat that food, Thomas. Thank you, guys. And love you all for coming by. Thanks for supporting the channel as always. I appreciate all of you guys very much. And if you signed up for a membership already, thank you. I'm going to check tomorrow and make a new intro. So your name is on there. For tomorrow night, it will be in the intro before we come on. I don't know what time, but we'll do a long one tomorrow night. It'll be much more quiet here. All right, guys. Love you so much. Thanks. Appreciate you coming by. Thomas says, I love the noise. It's raw. I've never had this much noise on a live stream before in my life. 3 years it took me to get. All this cackling in the background. It's all right, though. I guess it livens things up a little bit. But I do want to eat this food. I'm Professional says, love of Met is not money. Love of Met is not money. All right, I'm Professional. Sounds good. Harry Parrott says, money is the root. Be careful what you wish for. I just want to pay the bills. That's it. I don't want anything more. But like I said, I would be really sad if I had to get rid of my AMC right now, just to keep doing live streams to get pummeled by Google and YouTube because they don't like what we're talking about. So it's all about karma, I believe. In the end, it's all about karma. All right, guys. Love you so much. I'll see you tomorrow night. We'll be back on 100%. As long as the restream isn't taking it down for non-payment, we'll be back doing live streams. All right. Have a good night. Enjoy your families, and who knows? Maybe we'll have a good day tomorrow in the market. Although I'm not holding my breath. That's for sure. Got hammered again today. Like, what is going on? Christ Almighty! All right, guys. I'm out of here. Night. Peace. It's like, oh yeah. I should just act like I'm still on.